welcome to Bball Summit, a new innovative basketball radio show. Our show brings the basketball community from around the world together to discuss job opportunities and the latest news and events trending in basketball. We provide the only platform for fans, players, and basketball executives to interact and share current basketball news happening around the world. Bball Summit Radio, for basketball fans that want to be the first to know. Check it out.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to Basketball Summit Talk Radio. This is DeShera, and I'll be your host tonight for our second episode of 2016. Tonight we will discuss some recent basketball news and have an exclusive interview with former NBA player Maurice Evans. For any of our listeners who want to join in to our discussion tonight, the number to call into is 347-989-0349. Again, that number is 347-989-0349. Now I will turn it over to Brian and to our first segment.
The dates for the Portsmouth Basketball Summit this year will be on April 14th and 15th. That will be the Thursday and Friday. The timing of it will be running in the morning to early afternoon.
Defense leading to offense. Josh Smith gets the turnover on the other end. It's Mo Evans with the reverse jam, filling in for Marvin Williams. He led the Atlanta Hawks with 22 points on the day. Atlanta wins it 130-1.
Good, man. I want to appreciate we appreciate you coming on, man. I know it's your family time, so we're not gonna keep you long, but our audience is very excited to just to hear your story, man, and get some motivation, some inspiration, and knowledge from you. So I want to thank you again for taking the time out to come on, man.
No, I appreciate y'all having me. Shoot, I'm inspired. Y'all had the little clip on there talking about me dunking, reverse dunking. Them days seem like they was long gone. So anytime I can relive a little bit of past, I'm joking. I'm excited to come on, man. I look forward to answering questions and just having a little fun.
No, definitely. We definitely gonna have some fun, man. So, a lot of people know you from the NBA. They know your resume from the NBA. But I'd like you to tell them a little bit about your story leading up to the NBA and your accomplishments and some of the great things you did before you got to the NBA, to give them a full picture of who you are and your basketball resume.
I mean, if you talk about just in terms of basketball resume, I definitely got to credit, first of all, God for giving me talent and the ability. I credit my parents. I had a great support system, and they put me in a private school, one of the best college preparatory schools in the country, in Wichita Collegiate. It's located in Wichita, Kansas. And going there, my high school coach, Mitch Fiegel, we won state championship there. I was a two-time player of the year. He was a really difficult coach. Really stressed X's and O's over me going out and scoring 40, 50 points. So, he was a real integral coach as well. So I definitely learned fundamentals and foundational principles from him, and learned how to really play the game the right way. So once my talent really kicked in, I had a lot of the basics already down. I think that's what allowed me to excel at the NBA level and pro level, because I knew how to play multiple positions as a result of that foundation. And I thought it was me for a change. I actually entered the NBA draft, and Rick Barnes recruited me out of the draft and recruited me to Texas. And I believed in, his coaching abilities and what we could accomplish there at UT, and that's why I decided to go. And I don't regret that at all, even though, despite being undrafted, took a lot of criticism for my decision to leave after my junior year, while I still had 1 year eligibility. But obviously the proof is in the pudding. In God's plan, can't no man thwart. So I still was able to play for 11 years. Factor, there's a risk factor, and there's a benefit factor. Because you need to weigh all three of those, and whatever decision you make, it needs to be in your favor, all three, wherever you go. And I would say the same thing to a lot of these players. You got to weigh the cost. A lot of times the cost is sitting out a year to go transfer. And the cost might be if you're, a junior year, you only have 1 year to play. So therefore you have to try and establish yourself in a new conference with a new team, a new coach, new system, all in 1 year. It's different if you're a young player. Well, for one, once I didn't get drafted, that was embarrassing in and of itself. Having a draft party, having my family there, my fiance at the time, she was there, and and my agent had it at his house, and he had put in a lot of work, equally as I did. So I know it wasn't for lack of trying. So when it happened, I was devastated, as you can imagine. I went outside on the curb, I shed a few tears. And then I got myself together, and I said, I prayed to God, and I knew that, I surrendered that process to Him already. I'd already, knew that, I had it on my heart that I was going to be a pro. I knew it wasn't that the NBA isn't my source, Texas wasn't my source, and I knew that He had put it on my heart that I was going to have a long-standing career. So at that point, it was no more guessing. I didn't have a choice to give up or any other option. So that night, it wasn't long before my agent told me that we had a couple opportunities to go to training camp, play summer league, and it wasn't. I said, okay, well, let's get back to it. So we went in the gym the next day, and one of the things I've always been pretty good at is taking that negative energy and frustration and rechanneling it. So I went to the gym and busted some heads in there the next day, and I took it out on some guys in the summer league, and by God's grace, I was able to sign. They offered me a contract after the second game of summer league.
I know you might have kind of had a couple of good teams you played on before, but which one you thought was your favorite?
Daniel, man, thanks for calling in. I really appreciate the compliments and appreciate you being a fan, because without, the fans, we obviously couldn't make the money that we make and be the blessings to our families and the ratings and all the things that, fans drive. I really appreciate you. So thank you for that. And as far as my favorite team, it was definitely hands down the Detroit Pistons. 2005, I played for the Pistons, and that year we actually had the best record in the league. We were 64-18, and we had 4 All-Stars: Rasheed Wallace, Ben, and who else? Ben and Rip and Chauncey Billups. Ben Wallace, Rasheed Wallace, Rip Hamilton, and Chauncey Billups, and all 4 of those guys. We really could have had a fifth in Tayshaun Prince at the time. But it was really cool, playing on that team, because we had such strong camaraderie off the court that it showed up on the court. Okay, that's a good question, man. So just to give you a few influential people, because so many people impacted my career and at different times meant a lot to me. One of the first, I always got to give credit to Kevin Garnett. He was one of the first players that I encountered. Big heart, very unselfish. Helped. He was a consummate leader from the moment he stepped into the NBA, even from a young age. And in the scene and his infectious smile, the way he plays the game with passion. Even you can see it later in as his career has declined and he's on his last leg. It was amazing to be able to see how he just the effect that he had on the game. And
wow, that's good stuff, Mo. That's good stuff. And again, we want to thank those callers for calling in. But Mo, we're not gonna keep you, man. We appreciate your time. We can go on and on, but one thing I do want to bring you back on, because I know you're doing some very, very great things as far as empowering players and educating players and giving them very important resources to have a balance, not only as a player, but as a business person. It's time to transition, having all the tools you need to transition effectively. So we definitely want to bring you back on to talk about those things that you're doing. But in the meantime, man, get back to your family, man, and we appreciate the time again, and I'll be talking to you real soon.
Okay, man. Thank you guys for taking the time out. I really appreciate it, and I wish you guys luck. Anytime you guys need me, just give me a shout, Mark, and continue success to you, man. Keep up the good work.
Thanks, man. Thanks. Appreciate it a lot.